Hey movie fans, so just when you start forgetting that Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice is coming out, they release a new promotional image just to kind of get it back in the cultural mindset, even though, like I said, it's a year out. But today marks officially 1 year away from Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice. So accompanying that 1 year anniversary? Can you call an anniversary for an event that's a year away? But that's beside the point. But they released a new promotional image, which made me realize that I have not covered any of the material for this movie in quite a long time. So I really thought I needed to do a recap of what came out today, what came out in the past, anything that's officially been released for this movie that I'm super excited for. In case you couldn't tell for some reason or another. So the image that came today was that of Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Now he was cast a long time ago and I still kind of have my reservations of him in the role. I would have liked to have seen Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad, and way back he was in Malcolm in the Middle, but everyone knows him from Breaking Bad now, including myself. I really would have liked to see him as Lex Luthor. I would have loved that. I think he would have been perfect. But we'll see where they go with Jesse Eisenberg. I love him as an actor, but I'm still very much in reserve when it comes to him as Lex Luthor, arguably one of the best villains in the DC Rogues Gallery. But this picture helps reassure me a little bit. I'm so thankful beyond belief that he is bald. There's a lot of talk going into it that he was going to have a lot of long, curly, orange or brownish hair. I forget where the rumors started with this. But I really hope that that was not the case, and it really looks like from the get-go he will be bald, which thank goodness for that, because I don't know what you're going to do with Lex, but as long as he's bald. It's a weird little costume nitpick, but that's like one of his defining characteristics, is that he is bald, he's evil, and he's Superman's archenemy. Like I said, I've also kind of neglected to tell you about the other promotional images and official art that we've gotten from the set and behind the scenes stuff, or even official images from the director himself, who just likes to tease us. So I'm going to cover everything else. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, all of that, because there's a lot to cover, because I've been slacking. I'm sorry. The big one to start off with here is Aquaman. Holy cow, guys! Aquaman looks awesome! Now, I'll say this. I defended Aquaman. I have for quite a while. Ever since Jeff Johns started to write Aquaman's material and made Aquaman awesome and not Super Friends. Okay, people, say it with me. Aquaman is cool. But I say that because Aquaman long has had this reputation that all he does is talk to fish. Which that is really not the case at all, and they've been really trying hard in the comics to show that this guy has a laugh streak to him, and he's awesome. He's the ultimate warrior of Atlantis. Ultimate warrior. I have a lot of wrestling references on the show, if you can't tell that by now. But he's in charge of any underwater domain. He's the king of, like, however many percent of the world is covered by water. I know it's a lot, I'm sorry. My mind isn't automatically thinking academically at this point. But he's in charge of anything under the water, so that kind of makes him awesome in the fact of how much sheer ground he has to cover. So naturally, I got really excited when they cast Jason Momoa of Game of Thrones to play Aquaman, because I was like, yes, they want to establish that this guy's awesome, tough, could beat up anybody. And I thought he is the one that's going to shake everybody's previous notions about Aquaman aside. Now, I know he's famous for Game of Thrones, but my first seeing of him was actually in Stargate Atlantis, which that's like a nice precursor to him as Aquaman. I think that's just perfect. Now I've heard a lot of people grope and complain about he's not going to be blonde. Do you really need him to be blonde? Are you really going to nitpick that much if he's not going to be blonde? He looks awesome. He doesn't need to be blonde. I think we might actually get some blonde like streaks in his hair, but he's not going to be blonde, I don't think. Nor does he need to be. Now, as excited as I am for Aquaman, that's about how unexcited I am for Wonder Woman. Now, don't get me wrong, I think Wonder Woman could be done very, very well, and her design looks great. But I still have my reservations about the actress playing her. It's kind of the same thing with Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, except I think Jesse Eisenberg has talent. And who's to say Gal Gadot, the woman playing Wonder Woman, doesn't have talent? The thing is, her resume is not big enough to tell if she's a good enough actress or not. Wonder Woman has yet to get a big screen treatment. There's been many attempts to do that. One was even from Joss Whedon, the guy that directed Avengers. He tried to get a Wonder Woman movie off the ground, and he couldn't. It's an incredibly difficult character to do, because you have to get it right the very first time. That's why I kind of wanted a more established actress, because she would have brought more gravitas to the table and could really do it well. Yes, I'm kind of over the whole Wonder Woman is going to be bulked up. I'm going to have to get over that. She's a stick, but she's probably still going to be ridiculously in shape and could kick my butt, even though that's not that difficult. I just have my reservations about Gal Gadot as an actress. Hopefully, I'm proven wrong in a lot of my concerns when it comes to Batman v Superman. But costume design alone, that looks awesome. She just looks like an Amazonian warrior princess, which she kind of is. Very quickly, I'll cover the Superman picture that came out, primarily because there's not a whole lot new. There's very, very minor altercations to his suit. Other than that, he's more just bulked up, which I can't even believe he bulked up, because Man of Steel, Henry Cavill was just, poof, yeah, I'm Superman. And I'm watching it going, yeah, you're Superman. I could believe that. But this new image, he looks even bigger. I'm just like, how is that possible? Are you just Hugh Jackmaning us and you just get bigger with each progressive movie? Whatever. He looks awesome. The suit looks about the same. I'm hoping it gets a little bit like brighter in color for this time around, because everything is dark in DC movies. Thanks, Batman. But we don't need it to be dark, so I'm just hoping for a little bit brighter costumes all around. That's another thing I've noticed about all these pictures of these images that have come out. They all have this weird like Instagram filter on them, making them darker than they really need to be, just like the characters. But I think that's done just for like, look at how awesome this is, and I don't think they're going to be that dark in the movies themselves. I would like to see more color in some of these, and they have more of a muted color palette. The costumes look great, but they need a little bit more color to them, and I think when we actually see them in action in the movie, I think they will have a little bit more color, but it's a weird muted thing. Speaking of muted color palette, why was that first promotional image of Ben Affleck as Batman in black and white? That's just a weird question I raised when I first saw it. It looked awesome with him just going, I'm Batman, while standing next to the new Batmobile, and no longer the Tumbler, but back to the Batmobile days, and that looks awesome too. But I was just like, why is this black and white? I'm happy to say I'm officially on Team Batfleck. I think Ben Affleck will kill it. I think he'll be one of the best aspects of this movie. Those Daredevil people are just like, oh, he was in Daredevil, he was in some terrible movies. He's a great actor now. Look at Argo, The Town. Ever since he stepped behind the camera, he's become a phenomenal actor, as well as a great director. I'd encourage you to see those two other movies. I know he directed one other, but I haven't seen that yet. The selling point for me was Gone Girl. His performance in that, and his physicality, you could tell he was bulking up for Batman shape. He had this dark presence that I hadn't seen before in Ben Affleck, and I was just like, ooh, this very much could be our Batman. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I think he and Henry Cavill, because it's called Batman v Superman, so you're going to rest a lot of the weight on their shoulders, they will carry this movie. Yes, I've heard that this movie's going to be bloated argument a lot, because there's going to be a lot of heroes in this movie. And I am a little bit concerned about that too. Even me being a DC fan, I want to see all these characters, but not all at once. I don't think it's going to be as bloated as we think it will be. I think a lot of these heroes will get mostly just cameo appearances at the end. Well, what do you guys think about all these costumes, news, rumors, etc. about this movie? Even though it's a whole year away, I think it's still a lot of fun to speculate about this and question what the final result will be. Well, comment below. And as always, if you like what you see and you want to see more, subscribe to the channel. Or, I got some updated information for you guys. You can also find me on Facebook at 17 Movie Reviews, on Twitter at 17 Movie Reviews, and also on Instagram at 17 Movie Reviews. It's the exact same programming content, everything else, it's just a name change. I like it a lot better. I'm still Movie Guy 17. It's just the whole banner and everything is uniform across the board of 17 Movie Reviews. Just making it a whole lot more simple and sound a little bit more professional, I guess. So please, hit me up on any one of those. Stay sharp, movie guys and gals.